So I was just thinking about some shit. I was thinking about like how my alias is the Flash. Probably some of you probably wonder why. Some of you probably just see the connection of quick and flash, but quick doesn't really mean speed. It means like life, rejuvenation to quicken. You know, the archaic use of the word quick, archaic quick. Yeah, Flash. I came up with that back in the day. Kind of like when I was just rapping to myself sometimes, and I'd be rapping. Actually, it's funny. I started like rapping like old Cassidy verses and shit to myself, and just kind of like when I was to myself, I would just be like trying to hype myself up and just pretend like it was something that I said, and people were reacting to it and shit, just to kind of hype myself up and kind of just like get myself like full of myself or something. So sometimes I'd just be like spitting other people's shit at home like to myself. And like instead of saying Cass, I would insert the word or the name Flash, because I was referring to myself, and like at the time I kind of associated it with quickness, you know, being fast, quick, the Flash. But also Flash was like my favorite hero back in the day. I was always seemed drawn towards the people in red, like the Red Ranger, the Flash. But that wasn't true in Ninja Turtles. I didn't like the Raphael the most in the red mask. I actually like Leonardo in the blue mask. That's probably because he had the swords. I always fought with people with the swords. The Red Ranger had the swords. Anyway, Flash didn't have the swords, but you know, he's fucking the Flash. Anyways, I kind of like use that name now almost to imply like the fucking hero and shit, kind of, I guess. But, I don't know. I had to think about that recently. So basically, like, what I kind of came up with is, obviously, like, well, not obvious, maybe, but it was kind of like, to me, now, I used to, like, think of myself back in the day, like, I used to be, like, a lot more, I guess. I guess still, like, I have my bullheaded arrogantness still, but I feel like I've grown out of some of it a little bit, I guess. I don't know if this is me thinking highly of myself, or just like looking at actual events and actual ways that I thought and shit. And some people go through this time, especially like if they're in like what they call conscious rap. They go through a time of thinking they're better than everyone else who ain't spitting like them, and like the rest of the people in the game are full of shit, and they're whack, man. They're corrupting the fucking youth, and they're just poisoning their brains and shit. But it's really like such a fucking condescending approach to take, especially when you're coming in there with some bullshit messages yourself that are probably coming from some place of prejudice or ignorance or something. Anyways, I feel like I kind of like outgrew a lot of that stuff when I started to learn more and start learning different respects for different things and different people, and seeing things differently, and understand like some of the things that I've been told and some of the stuff that I believe were a result of the things that were taught to me, and societal fucking norms, societal pressures, and shit that I was told and influenced by, even subconsciously and shit. Because so much shit, that's why they call it implicit bias. Like everyone has it, because even if they say it or not, like it's implicit. Like you don't have to say it. Like so many fucking stereotypes and the fucking negative stigmas and stuff is drilled into you just from fucking walking through the world on a daily basis and shit. That I feel like I kind of grew past some of that stuff, where I don't really like look down like on shit like that like I used to. Like everyone might not be like have the same complexity of bars or speak about like some type of message, but everybody's just trying to, I guess, like have fun overall and just try to do their thing. So I can't like hate on people just because they're doing something a different way. So I just thought that like I kind of like did like the approach when I did like the Flash points of the what you call the 5 faces of quick. I kind of took Flash as like the hero of the game, and like I kind of do that now, like even more that I think of it, I guess, more satirically than anything, because I'm not trying to like look down on anyone. I kind of like use that almost as like a kind of like an ironic sense, because like I kind of like went after the people who kind of like are like bullheaded and shit like that, and prejudiced towards different shit. But so I kind of like just use like the Flash thing to kind of like get at other people who kind of took that approach that I took from before, I guess. Where like especially like when I talked about like Tom McDonald, like with him, like, I just felt like it was so everybody's gonna come like with a sense of arrogance and shit sometimes, but like he has like this sense of arrogance where he's better than everyone. Everyone in the game's just polluting fucking people's minds and just such garbage, and he's the only one who's telling us the right thing, and he's the only one who's got anything of value that we need to be listening to, and everyone just hates on him and shit, and it's just like such a fucking, like, get the fuck out of here, bro. It's like that scene on fucking liar. Oh, what's your problem? I'm an inconsiderate prick. It's not even worth it, man. Like, why were you even gonna go there and shit? This fucking, he knows. But anyways, like, but like, they come with such like condescending and especially some fucking right wing fucking propaganda bullshit, like, too. Like, it's just really fucking annoying, and it's not well received. And then you're gonna come in as you're the fucking hero, and you're not doing anything bad. Like, all your shit is just so good for the game. If it wasn't for you, then the fucking game would die, because you're saving the game. You're the savior. Like, really, like, if and it's in jeopardy, everyone else is putting in jeopardy, and you're the only one who can save it. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. I kind of take that approach now. Like, as Flash as being the hero is more of a satirical thing. And kind of like, I know, even though Flash wasn't described in the comics as the anti-hero, I think the term anti-heroes is kind of like, it's funny, like, we use it to communicate a certain idea, because, like, in storytelling, there's been the hero, the villain, the anti-hero. The hero is the one who always does good and never does wrong. The villain's the one who's always does wrong and never does good. And the anti-hero is somewhere in between, who, like, can mix. Sometimes they do something right, sometimes they do something wrong, but they can't be called, like, flawless enough to be the hero, and they can't be called bad enough to be the villain. And I think, like, really, like, if you think of it in really, like, terms of people and stories and shit like that, like, even, like, the world is a story, our life is a story. Like, out of those three, the anti-hero, the hero, and the villain, the fucking hero and the villain, they don't really exist, you know? Like, the anti-hero is the only one that really exists, because it's actual, like, a regular human who's not, like, flawless. They're not all bad either. It's like, everyone's really an anti-hero if you think of it that way. Like, no one's doing right all the time. Like, even like when you think like fucking like the Joker and shit, like, even in the Dark Knight, like, of course everyone thinks he's chaos, he's doing crazy shit, and like, that's what they kind of like ran with. If you look at it, especially like looking at the different like film theorists, like on YouTube and shit, the film theory YouTube channel and shit. But talking about like the shit that Joker actually did, if you think about it, like everything, like, even though he was obviously, you know, like doing some crazy shit, like, if you think about what he actually did, he fucking destabilized the mob. He fucking exposed and made their damn financial advisor / handler like useless. He exposed the corrupt banks who were supporting the corrupt politicians, the corrupt police, and he even, like, even though Batman, like, we're all supposed to love Batman and everything because, you know, he's the hero, but, like, really, if you think about it, he's really a vigilante who's just taking shit into his own hands, and, like, really, like, and basically causing, like, you know, no need for, like, actual a society to form a structure to really, like, balance shit out. Because even he knew that. Like, he said, like, he isn't, like, the solution and shit. Like, he isn't what's supposed to be happening. Like, he wants them to be able to count on the cops in like a reliable system. But, like, so Batman was never, like, the answer in a perfect world. Like, he was only, like, a temporary solution in a dying world. Because, like, that's not how it should be continuing. It should be being able to trust the system and trust those in power to do right, and not needing some person to take shit into their own hands. So really, if you think about it, like, Joker exposed that shit, like that film theorist, like, said, Mad Pat, and I think he was pretty on point with that, with some of that. This is my thoughts, man. I was thinking, like, you know, whenever I use the term, like, hero now, like, if I'm, like, thinking of Flash as the hero, I'm just more satirically now, like, I'm really gonna save the game. Like, it's my interpretation is just people who, like, have these bullshit stances and shit like that, and it's like, even though, like, some of them come with, like, dope bars, like, I fucking talk shit about Disaster and Wayne, like, I like them, obviously, like, for their bars, but there's some stuff that they do and say that I just don't agree with. So that was me saving the game, you know, and just, like, going after people, like, yo, can I really leave it up to you, like, at the end of the day, kind of thing. So it's like, this is kind of my thoughts on it. You know, like, not necessarily really the hero, but fucking Flash has to think he is. He has to he has to keep going. He has to believe he's fighting a good fight, and just keep himself going and motivated. And hopefully he can do some good. But really, Deep down, I guess the hero really doesn't exist, nor does the villain, just the anti-hero. Irony. Can't live with it, can't live without it.